Good afternoon. Welcome to the August 20th, 2019 Glendale Housing Authority meeting being called to order at 3:05 p.m. May I please have the roll call?
Authority members Devine.
Here.
Najarian.
Here.
Karazian. Quintero. Garpetian.
Here.
Chair Agajanian.
Present. May I please have your report?
The agenda for the August 20th, 2019 regular meeting of the Glendale Housing Authority was posted on Thursday, August 15, 2019 on the bulletin board outside City Hall.
What's next, please?
Next is approval of minutes.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Hearing no objection, the minutes stands approved as submitted. What's next?
I'm sorry, one second,
I'm
Mr.
sorry.
Chair. These are the minutes from last week?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to abstain
Okay.
from.
Noting that abstention, we'll have the.
Yeah, I don't think you have a majority vote for the approve the minutes then without your vote. There's no rule of, saying you can't abstain. I mean, you could abstain because you didn't participate, but at the same time, you could vote for them. But if you do abstain, then I don't think we have 4 votes for the minutes, and we have to carry it over.
So don't abstain.
So why you don't approve it, so you...
Don't abstain.
we have
Well,
a co-
Okay, so there is no reason for me to abstain because I wasn't
Yeah,
here.
legally, it's not required. It's sort of a practice, but it's not required.
Okay, so with that, I'll approve it.
Thank you.
Aye.
Okay.
There's no card submit for the oral communications portion of the meeting, and the only item before you today is Director of Community Development regarding annual submission of the Section 8 Management Assessment Program CMAP self-certification for 2018-19.
Ms.
681
Beers?
is a motion approving annual submission of the CMAP self-certification for fiscal year 2018-2019 to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development.
Ms. Beers?
Yes, Chair Agajanian, members of the Housing Authority, we are here to ask for your authority to file our annual Section 8 Management Assessment Program certification for the fiscal year that just ended in June 30th of 2019. Arthur Bobolian is here to give you a short report if you so choose. With that, I leave that up to you, Mr. Chair, if you'd like a report from Mr. Bobolian. Come on up, Arthur.
Thank you, Mrs. Beers. Mr. Chairman, members of the Housing Authority, my name is Arthur Bobolian. I'm the Principal Housing Advisor for the Housing Division. The Glendale Community Development Department Housing Division is seeking your approval to submit the annual Section 8 Management Assessment Program self-certification to HUD, CMAP as it's commonly known. CMAP is an assessment that we are mandated to perform by HUD that evaluates our operation of the Section 8 program based on 14 indicators dictated by HUD. The indicators measure how well the Section 8 program is operating from a financial and administrative standpoint. Each indicator measures a specific component of the program. Some of the indicators are management of the waiting list, inspection and enforcement of the housing quality standards, and proper calculation of the housing assistance payment. I'm proud to announce that we anticipate receiving a high performer designation by HUD again this year and expecting to receive the full 135 points available to us. HUD's maximum possible score is 145. However, as you may know, we do not administer the family self-sufficiency program, so we're not eligible for the last indicator number 14. After our self-certified submission, HUD and independent auditors will review our report and analysis and hopefully will concur with our assessment that we are indeed a high performer agency once again. I am I'm sorry. Finally, although we are allowed by HUD to self-certify our assessment due to our high performance agency status and designation, the term self-certification is a bit of a misnomer because preparing this report is a vigorous work and a lot of hard work goes into this report, and not just for this time of the year, but throughout the entire year. And the staff deserves a lot of credit for successful administration of the program. And with that, thank you for your time with that. If you have any question, we'll go ahead and address it.
I
Thank you
just
for your time.
have a question is, the deadline for submission, as I asked before, is August 29, 2019. Why we wait so long until the last days of submission? Is there any reason we can't submit it sooner?
Chairman Agajanian, historically, we have submitted around the second or third week in August, so we're consistent with that deadline. Also, just the way the timing works, where we have to wait for the last fiscal year to end for us to be able to generate some report in order for us to be able to prepare the report to you. So that takes time. For each indicator, we have to run several reports and analyze it, number one. Number two, we have evaluated 35 files, and that alone takes about 2 to 3 days to make sure that in full compliance with the guidelines set forth under the review.
Thank
So
you.
from end of June till now, and we're historically, we're on that same time frame.
Thank you. Is there any question?
Yeah, you mentioned, I think you mentioned something about self-assessment towards the end, and I didn't quite understand what you were saying.
No, after our self-certified submission, sorry, but after submitting the report, the CMAP report, which is self-certified, after that submission, the HUD and independent auditors will review our report and analysis, and hopefully will concur that, we are indeed a high performer agency.
Okay, and the reason we're not getting the full 145 is because we are not eligible for the 10 points to go with number 14,
That's correct. The Family
Program.
Self-Sufficiency Program, we no longer administer that program. Last client we had was in 2014 or 15, if I'm not mistaken, so that's correct.
all right. And as I understand it, this is like above more than 15 years in a row that we've received this high performance or could receive this high performance.
That's correct.
rating.
If we receive it this year, will be our 16th year in a row. The first time we received it was in 2003. So if we receive it, will be the 16th year in a row.
Good, something to be proud of. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, please.
Couple questions. Occasionally, we get comments on CMAP indicator number 1, proper selection of the waiting list. And that all usually involves allegations of improper selection and jumping over others who are ahead in line. Have you seen anything like that recently?
But remember, Najarian, that's a legitimate concern for the public to have, but I've been here since 2001, and I can unequivocally say that absolutely no. The listing is rigorously monitored by a staff member, and she's also monitored and she's monitored by the assistant director of the department. So
Do you get those complaints?
some, not a lot,
Like we do?
some,
They
not a
sort
lot,
of
but it's like we gave it like a general sense. It's not specific. Just like, oh, you guys are, what's taking so long? It's in a general sense, very vague. Nothing specific.
The other, I guess, indicator that we hear about is indicator number 3 and indicator number 9, the income levels, appropriate income levels. Do you, well, let's go to number 9. That's the annual. Someone's in the program and you review annually. Do you weed out, remove people from the Section 8 list based on your determination of extra income or non-disclosed income?
You mean from the program?
Yeah.
Definitely, yes.
I mean, that's the other thing we hear. Oh, they're driving Mercedes and they work cash and then, they have this and they have that and they're never, all that stuff. I hear that all the time.
And
I turn it over to you guys. Usually I say, or give it to Mr. Zovak or whoever.
Of course, we have a very robust, compliance program, fraud compliance program. We have a dedicated individual who's dedicated to fraud compliance, and we get some of that story. But again, majority of our participants are about 70-80% more senior citizens. So we had once in a while we get them, or we used to in the past, but I mean, again, once, if and when we do detect them, right away, they're referred for fraud, and then we take action accordingly, and of course, they're terminated from the
Have there
program.
been any recent terminations based on fraud? I mean, going back 2-3 years?
The most recent one I had, yes, we had an individual who, he was an unauthorized tenant. I presided over the informal hearing, and I'm happy to say we won the case. He was an unauthorized tenant. He wasn't supposed to be there. He was unauthorized. We received an anonymous call that this individual was residing in the unit. The participant it was a challenging case because she had a severely disabled child, but she raised all those points after the fact at the hearing. She never at any time she reported the individual, none of the cars. He had like 3 vehicles, luxury vehicles.
That's what I'm talking about.
So, but he was terminated from the whole entire participant was terminated from the program.
Okay, thank you.
But you have to take those to court? I mean,
We don't know.
Oh, okay.
If they, they can, and then we're also in that individual's case, we're also seeking a restitution, and so we're seeking restitution in that case as well. It's about $13,000.
Okay. Yes.
A couple of questions. The waiting list is closed, right?
That's correct.
So since 2001, if I'm not mistaken?
That's
Yes.
correct.
So I hear the same stories that, a family moved here 5 years ago and they're already receiving Section 8. The fact is that they can't even get on the list, the waiting list, to be eligible to receive Section 8. And I always ask them, who is this family or the person that nobody wants to tell as to who's receiving Section 8 out of turn, and we're not that kind of a person. We don't want to, destroy their lives. But we hear the same stories. As far as the income level goes, we had we had a loophole that we closed. I remember a year ago or so that they would add people to their Section 8 voucher, like their grandchild or what have you, and after they pass or what have you, the child, which is 18 or 19, would have inherited the voucher. We've done that, right? It's not happening anymore because
That's
they would
correct.
stay on that Section 8 for decades.
That's correct, and we've been applying that policy diligently.
Okay. All right. Thank
And-
you. I mean, this rumors is not going to go away anytime soon. I mean, we hear
Regarding
it every day, but
Regarding your first point, again, we get those as well, but what they may be confusing is that they don't distinguish between the vouchers that they receive in the city of Glendale and ports that we received. For example,
transfers, basically.
that's correct. Anaheim, for example, had an opening. So if they go through the process, the eligibility process, and if they get a voucher, and if the individual decides to port to city of Glendale tomorrow, and the neighbor says that, tells the neighbor, oh, yeah, I'm on Section 8, I just got my Section 8 today, they confuse that, they think it's in city of Glendale. They don't distinguish between the ports and the city of Glendale. So they go around saying that, oh, this person got the Section 8 and I'm still waiting on the program. So with ports, they can, you can transfer it whenever you want with the request.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome.
I'll move 6A1.
second?
Okay, we stand adjourned at 3. I'm sorry.
Allow us to take the roll call. Authority members Devine,
Yes.
Najarian,
Yes.
Parazian, Quintero, Garpetian,
Yes.
Chair Alajanian.
Yes. So we stand adjourned
We
at
require,
Move to adjourn.
if there is no other member or staff comments, we'll stand adjourned. Thank you.
we have done before, so we stand adjourned at 3:19 p.m. Thank you.